Morning all, Southy here. I just want to talk about the cost of racing in different categories and the benefits of each. I heard Brody Kostecki and Will Brown talking about the cost of running in the second tier of the Supercar series. I think it's called Super 2. I might be wrong, but I think that's what they call it. And Brady was saying it costs $750,000 to $1 million or something a year for you to buy a drive in one of those cars. That's bizarre, because these kids are, their parents are paying for this, and to be paying that sort of money to run in the second division, I don't get it. I've heard stories over the years of supercar team owners sitting in lounge rooms with parents of young drivers with a finance broker with them. They bring to the meetings to try and get parents to mortgage their homes to put their kids in a car for the next year or the next whatever. Obviously there's no, in a lot of cases, these people are running these teams just as a money-making exercise. It's not about getting the right driver anymore into a car. They don't care how good the guy is. So if your kid, you've got a spoilt brat kid who fancies himself as a bit of a go-kart driver or a Formula 4 driver or whatever, and wants to go supercar driving, and you've got a few bucks as their parent, you've got to fork out for them to race in that second division, because you can't get into the first division unless you've run the second division, as far as I'm aware. So you've got to fork out, $750,000 a year for your kid to run in that second division, where there's no return. That you just pay. I don't understand, because where do you go? Where do you go after that? After you've paid that $2 or $3 million, where do you go? You're hoping to go to Supercar. So then you go and buy a ride in Supercar. What's the point of this? Honestly, what's the point? If you're just paying and paying and paying, you're just renting a car. You're not a professional driver. You're renting a car. It's just a big cock pull. You just want to be seen to be racing in Supercar or racing. Bob Jane used to call them garage cock pullers. These guys who just want to be known as a race car driver. They buy a car and stick it in their garage, and they go in their garage and they pull their cock over the bonnet, because that's what they want to be known as a race car driver. And that's what this is. It's just forking out millions of dollars to pull your cock. And then if you get into Supercar, that's it. There's nowhere else to go unless you achieve like people like Scott McLaughlin and Shane Van Gisbergen did, and you get an opportunity to go overseas. There's nowhere else to go. You're just stuck in the Supercar series, racing in front of 120,000 people on television, which is sweet FA, and pretty small crowds at most events, except the big crown jewel events. So why do it? Why spend that money to just for that? There's no upshot. It's just a cock pull. It's just a flex. I don't know what it costs to to turn up and drive a GT car. Imagine it's quite expensive, but at least that gives you an opportunity to go overseas and race similar cars in, that category, because those GT categories run all over the world. So at least if you go and race, spend the money to race a GT car, you've got it's a stepping stone or a springboard to going international and racing those cars. So that's a far better option to be taking your money to than the second division of Supercar, where you're just spending money for zero return. It makes no sense to me at all. I don't know why they do it. Australian Idol has been around now for so long that a lot of young entertainers and singers think that is the way to get into the music industry. They think that that's how you do it. They think you go on a television show, and but very few of them actually succeed. Very few of them go on to have big, successful careers. I think that's how a lot of young drivers see Supercar. They think that's the end goal. I think Supercar and Australian Idol are the same sort of thing. We've been conditioned, or the young people have been conditioned to believe that that's where you need to be. That's the end goal. Where I think both of them are just for show. Both of them are just entertainment, and there's no where to go as a driver. The other one besides GT cars, which is good value, as the Trans Am and TA2 cars. You can rent a TA2 car for about $30,000 a meeting, which is really good value, incredibly good value to go racing a great race car that also has connections to other series around the world. You can go to America and race Trans Am. The Trans Am cars are very similar in their running gear to an Xfinity car or a truck in the NASCAR series. So driving a TA2 car or a Trans Am car also gives you opportunities to use those skills to go overseas and race internationally and grow yourself as a race car driver, and hopefully become a paid professional race car driver like they do in NASCAR and in Trans Am overseas. So for me, I'm not here to bash Supercar. I know that people dig it, and that's cool. I know that some drivers, that's all they want to achieve is be a Supercar driver. But if you're a serious young driver and you've got serious skills and you want to grow those skills and achieve internationally, I think Supercar is the wrong place. It's the last place to go. I think you should be looking at, if you're in Australia, TA2, Trans Am, GT cars, or even Speedway. I mean, you go race a sprint car, you can go overseas and race sprint cars, in a really high level in the States and make great money, racing sprint cars at that high end. Or late models. Late models in America are actually bigger than sprint cars are in America. So yeah, I think that Supercar has just turned into a place where people pay a lot. I mean, there's a few drivers who, get paid to drive and deserve their rides there, and if that's all they aspire to is being a Supercar driver, well, good on them. I got a mate who all he ever aspired to was having enough money at the end of the week to have a carton of beer in the fridge, and he's lived his whole life like that, and he's happy as Larry. He's never wanted anything else. He's never wanted to travel. He's never wanted big things, flash cars. He just, as long as he could feed his family and have a carton of beer in his fridge, he was happy. So if you only want to be a Supercar driver and you're happy with that, that's great too. I don't have a problem with that. But if you have true international aspirations and you are, and you want to achieve overseas, and you really believe in yourself, and you think you can develop yourself into a great race car driver, I don't think Supercars is the place to be. I think there's much better options and much better value in Australia than Supercar. And if you're going to be spending all your parents' money, I'd be looking at other divisions, because I don't think Supercar is the place, and I don't think it's worth spending the money to go racing just to fill someone else's pockets with money, because that's all you're doing, is you're filling the team owners' money with pockets with money. Cheers, all the best, Southie.